everybody, and welcome back to Turkey in Afyon. It's the MXGP of Turkiye here, and the final race of WMX, the FIM Women's Motocross World Championship, is about to get underway here. Round 6 of 6. So far we have visited Sardegna, Switzerland, Spain, France, the Netherlands, and we're rounding out the season here in Turkiye. My name's Paul Malin. Welcome to our MXGP TV broadcast today. We will see highlights from race 1 yesterday, but if you were watching us throughout the remaining races, the MX250 and MX2, then you'll know, but by the time MX2 Ram qualifying race had finished, we had a lot of severe weather, high winds, high gales, rain. The track was flooded, MXGP qualifying could not go ahead, and as a result of that, those rest of the proceedings were cancelled. There was a lot of rain laying on the track. Probably about 50% of the track was underwater by the time we left here yesterday. More rain was predicted, but it never came. And I'm pleased to say that the sun is out now. It just came out literally a couple of minutes before we came out on air, but there is still a lot of water laying in certain places. The track crew have done their best to rip through that water to give it a chance to drain. So you will see some freshly ripped sections of the track going across left to right, where that will now become a little bit rutty as the race goes on. The racetrack here, 1,700 meters long. It's flat in its kind of nature, but there are a lot of different undulations with jumps and things like that. The finish line to zone 1, that's sector 1, down to sector 2, 3, and then 4 back to the finish. But the winner of race 1 yesterday, Courtney Duncan, is just a handful of points away from clinching what could be a 4th world title. Lisa Leyland was down on the grid a few moments ago. She caught up with the rider who finished 2nd, Larissa Papameyer and Courtney Duncan. But here's Larissa.
I'm just on the start line of the final WMX race of the year. Now I want to catch up with Larissa Papameyer because, Larissa, we didn't see you at the last round in the Netherlands, did we? Just tell us why that was.
Yeah, I picked up an injury before Arnhem the week before. So I broke my thumb, or I had a crack in my thumb and in my chin. So I tried to ride there, but I wasn't able to hold on. So I had to pull off and watch the race from the side. And yeah, I didn't ride since 3 weeks, so I just say I'm going to come here to try, and yeah.
But Larissa, you came back with a vengeance. I mean, yesterday in race 1, you were 2nd. That was your best result all year, and you were under so much pressure. Great job holding on to that 2nd position. Tell us about it.
I know. Don't ask me how I did it. I don't know. I just had fun. I really liked this track. So, yeah, it was difficult to hold on with the thumb, though. I tried to go around the bumps, but yeah, it was good. Best result, so I can't complain more than I thought what I can do here. So, yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Well, enjoy the final race. Thanks, Larissa. Now, I can't let this race begin without speaking to Courtney Duncan. Courtney, firstly, let's speak about that first race yesterday. You did exactly what you needed to do. You've got one hand on that title. Pretty much the perfect race. How was your feeling out there?
Yeah, no, yesterday was really good. Like you said, I had a really good feeling out there. Went pole position, so that was good. Put me off on a good start, and then obviously had a pretty solid race. Got a good start, was in the lead on the first lap, and just maintained that throughout the race. So yeah, happy with today. Yesterday, obviously today, different story. It's going to be a mutter. Heavens opened up pretty heavy last night, put a lot of water down, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
What's your frame of mind coming into the very last race, knowing you can secure that title? I mean, you only need 4 points. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Or are you just going to enjoy it out there?
Yeah, just going to embrace it, you know. Like, this is what you work your whole life for. You work your whole life to put yourself in these positions to go for world titles. And for sure that comes with pressure, but, you know, we wouldn't want that any other way. So just going to go out there and enjoy it, embrace it, and, yeah, go for another title.
Best of luck, Courtney.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck to all the girls. It's time for the very fine WMX race.
We can see some remnants of the rain and where they've tried to tidy up the racetrack here and there. But fortunately, the sun is coming out. It does heat up quite quickly here. But before we go anywhere else, though, let's take another look at what happened in race 1. Here's our race 1 highlights recap. So the first race of WMX yesterday got off to a flying start, a dry track. But it was Larissa Papameyer who got a flying start. She just ran a little too wide on the exit of the first turn. That allowed Courtney Duncan through. Remember, Duncan had a 16-point advantage over the rider in red, Daniela Guillen, and another 7 points further back was the rider to the outside on that second green Kawasaki, Lotte van Drunen. Van Drunen didn't make a good start. She was in about 7th place as Daniela Guillen quickly got herself back into second. Volk was in fourth. Charlie Cannon was in fifth place. And then coming in behind was Lotte van Drunen. Papenmeier quickly got back into second before the end of the opening lap. Guillen was there in third. Volk up the inside of Charlie Cannon to move into fourth. And then she got the better of Guillen here to move into third place. By now, Duncan was disappearing off in the opposite direction, but all eyes on this frantic battle for second position. Papenmeier, Guillen, Volk, that was second, third, fourth. Charlie Cannon, the Australian, there, and then Lotte van Drunen. Despite everything that Daniela Guillen threw at Larissa Papenmeier, who we just heard from a moment ago, thumb injuries from Arnhem a couple of weeks ago, she managed to hold on to that second position as the two Dutch girls went at it. Van Drunen thought she got the better of Volk for fourth place, but a couple of corners later, this on the final lap, Volk squared off the turn perfectly, eased past the Kawasaki rider and regained that fourth position. But it was a sixth race win of the season for Courtney Duncan from Larissa Papenmeier and Daniela Guillen. Volk and Van Drunen rounded out the top five. And here's how the standings look then coming into this final round of the championship. Courtney Duncan on 248 with Daniela Guillen on 227, so 21 points between first and second. Lotte van Drunen now cannot win mathematically, but she's only 11 points off of the Spaniard, so she can still take second position. Lynn Volk, she is secure in fourth place because Chiara Fontanesi, who's not here, is now 29 points behind them. We've got Sarah Anderson, Larissa Papenmeier, and Britt Jansbeek. And Charlie Cannon and Danny Gleeson round out the top 10. Charlie Cannon will not line up today, though. She arrived here. She picked up some kind of bug, maybe traveling here from Australia, but she rode through it yesterday, and it's only got worse overnight, so she will not be lining up today. Courtney Duncan on pole then, just as she was for race one going into the final race of the season. Lotte van Drunen goes alongside her, and Daniela Guillen will line up against the Dutch rider. They lined up in the first three gates yesterday. Larissa Papenmeier, she goes to line fourth. Can she pull another rocket start like she did yesterday? And will she end the day on the podium? Lynn Volk fifth, Charlie Cannon sixth. Of course, we know now that Charlie Cannon will not line up. Then we've got Anderson and Shana van der Vlis. Then we've got Gabriela Sedados, Britt Jansbeek, and Mattea Salebo, Alexander Masuri, Jamie Astudillo, Danny Gleeson, Inina Lehmann, and the rest, Laurie Runkiar, and 21 riders lining up today. There is that overview. See how much lying water is still on the racetrack. I had a quick look at it this morning when I arrived. The track in its nature is very hard packed and slick underneath, and therefore it's going to be greasy. Some of the riders didn't go on track for their sighting laps. It looks like Courtney Duncan did not go out, so just going to maybe feel her way in the first 2 or 3 laps. Lotte van Drunen did, but she's taken the spare bike, I think, for the warm-up laps. She looks like she's got a clean bike there for the start of this race. So Lotte van Drunen getting at least 2 laps out there, and I saw Sarah Anderson also out on track. I'm not sure if Daniela Guillen went out, but she is still in a position to win the championship, but she's 21 points behind Courtney Duncan. Larissa Papenmeier, Yamaha Racing 423, what a fantastic ride yesterday in race 1 to come home in second place. And Lynn Volk, fourth in race 1. Can she round out the final Grand Prix of the season with a podium? 325, Sarah Anderson. The rider from Denmark, yet to visit the podium this year. 4 7th places in the last 4 rounds. So anywhere inside the top 5 will do, but she was 7th in race 1 yesterday. Just clearing the grid from behind the riders. We'll get a green flag on the right-hand side, the left as we look down the start gate. Any moment now, we get that. Our FIM official just cruising around the back of the start gate, make sure everybody's away. But look how wet the start straight is. It's ripped, it's heavy, there's a lot of water in there. The Fly Racing 15-second board up for the final time in 2023. WMX Race 2 here in Turkiye. A championship will be decided today in the next 25 minutes or so. Over on the right-hand side, Lynn Volk gets her Fantic into the inside line. She looks like she's grabbed a good start. So too does Duncan and Shana van der Vlis on the Yamaha. And Sarah Anderson already pulling roll-offs. Gabriela Sardegna there as well, the 79. Duncan struggling with goggles as well. Ah, through a water splash. Big puddle on the exit of turn 2. Hasn't been out on a sighting lap, so she is riding blind on this opening lap here. Is the points leader. Anderson has been out on track. She knows where some of those precarious holes are. Where is Van Drunen? Where is Nguyen? Nguyen in around about 10th place at the moment. But Lotte Van Drunen, no sign. In fact, was that her in the opposite direction? Did she go down on the first turn? Or on the exit of the first turn? Volk leading the way, Duncan second, Anderson there in orange and yellow in third, the fluorescent colours of Van der Vlist in 4th place. She's had an injury-prone season, but she can come away from here with a good overall finish, with a good ride in this second race, but very greasy, very snotty on top. The more laps they do, the more it will dry out, the stickier the track will get as well. Goggles, visibility could be an issue when you look at the amount of water on the track in some places. Will any of the girls need to use the goggle lane? But the outside lines look like the safest option. There's Nguyen to the inside, 2.55. But what a turn of events, what a completely different racetrack to what they had for race 1. As Nguyen tries to nip up the inside. There's Britt Jans Bacon, number 5. So she's in around about 8th or 9th place. .717, I think it was that just there in the background that Daniela Nguyen found her way by a moment ago. But she has got some work to do. You can already see that rear fender flapping away under the load of all that mud on that rear fender. And she's just feet off through that penultimate corner. Excuse me. But Volk, 7.6 seconds clear. She was another rider that went out on the sighting lap, or laps this morning, just prior to the gate drop. Anderson second, Duncan in third. Van der Vlist 4th, Gabriela Sardegna in 5th, Larissa Pappenmeyer in 6th, Jans Bacon, Britt Jans Bacon is in 7th, Jamie Astudillo of the United States is in 8th, Danielle Gullin now is in 9th place. And then Danny Gleeson, Mattea Salebo, Lotte Van Drunen in 12th. And Nguyen riding without a visor on the top of that helmet. So I'm not sure where she lost that, when she lost it. She just decided to throw it off. Probably a lot of mud on top there, and the weight of the mud on top of that visor can then sort of move the helmet a lot over the forehead. So she's obviously gone and pulled that off herself. All right, there's Van Drunen right behind her. Those two, second and third in the championships, and coming into this race, 11 points apart. Oh, Van Drunen from one side of the track to the other. How did she stay up? Rider tipping over to the outside. Another rider there. That'll be the number 88, who was about a minute off the pace in the time practice sessions yesterday. Waved yellows all over the racetrack now as riders tip over and struggle with these conditions. Meanwhile, fighting through the carnage and the melee, Nguyen and Van Drunen, who's moved up another 3 positions on this lap alone to get onto the rear wheel of the Spaniard here. The 2.55, Daniela Nguyen. Just ahead of Nguyen is Jamie Astudillo, 4.69. The Jezik Racing team rider. And Nguyen up the inside and moves up a position into 8th place. Van Drunen just behind the American now. Who is that ahead of Nguyen? It might be Britt Jans Bacon, the number 5. The first official lap complete. Remember, you have to go finish line to record that first official lap. And since the finish line there, right next to the start straight, Look at the handguard hanging off on that right-hand side as well of Daniela Guillen flapping around. That'll be a bit of a distraction, but it's just nothing more than the weight of the mud. She took a look across. Look how slippery it is coming out of turn 2. Got a feel for EMX 250 lining up next. Oh, it's Papameyer who's there. The 423, she is in 7th, so Jens Bacon up to 6th place. Put the flag out now. Duncan wins on 45, Volk on 43, Anderson, Papameyer tied on 3rd with 36 points, and then Guillen on 33. Oh, Van Drunen coming up short again as she tried to get the distance on Jamie Astudillo. Hard jump face is causing problems as well as you come out of those wet turns, dragging that wet dirt, that moisture onto that hard clay base. Volk, 14 seconds clear, fastest lap of the race, 2:16.6 that time around. Anderson in 2nd, Duncan 4.5 seconds behind the Dane. Sarah Anderson. Been a while since we've seen her inside the top 3. Race 2 here last year where she was 3rd. Here's Larissa Papameyer. May wonder why she's got that rag, that cloth hanging out the back of her race pants there. Just in case she goes down, she may be able to clean her gloves, maybe handlebars and things like that, the controls. So there, just as a precaution, it's a Jean-Michel Bale who started that trend back in the late 80s. Daniela Guillen closing in fast on her. Larissa Papameyer, though, eyeing up a podium if she can, but she can't afford to lose any more positions. She might need a few favours as well from 1 or 2 riders out there. Goggles off for Lotte Van Drunen already. She can use the goggle lane if she wants. Well, she's coming into pit lane to change goggles. The reason why they got the goggle lane at the end of the pit lane area is so that you don't need to go in there just a little bit quicker. You can keep that speed down past pit lane, turn left at the end, use that advantage of the goggle lane. So Van Drunen then opting to sacrifice a little bit of time to do that goggle switch as Guillen and Gabriela Sedados, the 2 last lap gas riders, either side of Papameyer. Papameyer needs this pass to make it onto the podium. Gabriela Sedados, the number 79, 20th in the championship before we arrived here. And currently 6th in the race at the moment. Best finish she's had is an 11th in race 1 in Spain at her home round. That was round 3. Papameyer just adjusting the clutch there, maybe to the outside. We've got wave yellows here. Daniela Guillen, she was fortunate there that she, well, I was going to say fortunate, but then she goes down. She was fortunate that she made the mistake on the entry to the turn because she may have found her way past Papameyer and got penalised on wave yellows. But then she gets into trouble the other side. She falls out of 8th place. Jamie Astudillo, watch this here. She comes in, there's wave yellows to the outside. If she'd have got on the gas here and made the pass stick, she would have been penalised. But then she just runs into trouble, goes down, and that bike is going to feel like 200 kilos as she picks it up. Papameyer still chasing down Gabriela Sedados and a possible visit to the podium here at this final round. Got a 5th overall in France, round 4. Didn't ride in the Netherlands, round 5 2 weekends ago. But 10 minutes to go, and Duncan now in 3rd is only 2 seconds behind Sarah Anderson. that will also change the outlook of the podium as well in favour of Larissa Papenmeier. So if Duncan finds a way past the Dane, and if Papenmeier finds a way past the Spaniard, Gabriela Cedeiros, then the podium is pretty much nailed on for the 423 Yamaha rider. No stranger to these conditions. Coming from Germany, waved yellows pretty much all the way around this racetrack in the second half of this WMX Race 2, the final race of the season here in Turkiye. Look at the state of the bike. Oh, wow. That was a massive cut as well. So I think Daniela Guillen has just resigned herself to the fact that she may, actually, she's going to possibly lose second overall in the championship because of that, because she was down for a while. Daniela Guillen now in 11th place. Van Drunen is ahead of her in 10th. But picking herself up and not going into the next left-hander to enter the wave section. Who was it that got penalised for that a few years ago in Indonesia? Nancy van der Ven just cut out one little loop. So I'm sure the officials will be hot on that. Here's Duncan. Big Van World, MTX. Kawasaki. Took her 6th race win in race 1. Didn't go out on the sighting lap this morning. Normally get a chance to do 2 or 3 sighting laps before the second race. Just saves the need for going out for a set. Oh, the 5 of Britt Jans Bacon out of 5th place. Here's Anderson. Doing her best to keep Courtney Duncan behind her as she continues to hold on to second position. Another Northern Hemisphere rider up there in Denmark, no stranger to these conditions. Likewise for the Kiwi girl in New Zealand. Similar conditions on a regular basis, certainly through the winter. Take another look at the start, shall we, and see what happened, because Lotte van Drunen didn't make a fantastic start. Van Drunen over in gate number 2, Volk in gate number 5, closed down everybody. And then just keeping an eye to the inside. Volk with the whole shot, but it was just a poor start for Lotte van Drunen, possibly getting covered in mud down that first straight. Nothing in it between second and third here. Cedeiros up to 4, Papenmeier 5th. They've both found their way past Van der Vlis, who's dropped to 6th. Danny Gleeson and Van Drunen now to 7th and 8th as a result of finding their way past Jamie Astudillo, who's 9th. Guillen up to 10th. Jans Bacon in 11th after her fall. And a mistake there for Anderson. Better drive for Duncan as she moves into second place. So it's just under 6.5 minutes plus 2 to run. A nervous look over the shoulder there from Sarah Anderson. Did get a couple of second place finishes here a few years ago at this final round, did Anderson. But she has about 41 seconds over Gabriela Cedeiros on the last lap Gas, RFME Gas, who is currently in 4th, 2.2 seconds clear of Larissa Papenmeier. Just coming in a little short there. Deep ruts now starting to appear. This was the first turn earlier. Well, it still is the first turn. Dealing with back markers, and it's difficult to see how heavy and sticky this mud is now that the rider's having to deal with. Was there a thumb wipe there with the goggles of Duncan? Here's Van Drunen. She's in 8th place on the 401. Again, look, trying to take mud off the visor. That's why Daniela Guillen just ripped her visor off earlier on in the race. Didn't want that heavy feeling that that mud on top of the helmet gives you. You're always having to strain to lift your head up just to be able to see where you're going. It's not a comfortable feeling either. over the wall jump, making her run down towards the final turn to complete her 5th lap, Lotte van Drunen. She hits the line now, up to 7th place. She's found her way past Danny Gleeson. Legging her way through that very deep first turn now. And Gleeson has lost a couple of positions. Guian up to 8th, as to DO9. Jans Bacon has found her way past the 717. So this was how Van Drunen got away into 7th place. Look how heavy it is there. She's going to tip down. Yeah, she does. Lose the front on the exit of the turn. Surfs away up the face of the jump. Van Drunen just has to check up to avoid her. Van Drunen now 7th. Whereas Pappenmeyer, 2.3 seconds behind Gabriela Sedados. She's eyeing up a podium here at this final round, is the German. Van der Vlist, the other side of the jump. So 4:01, Van Drunen, if she looks up, she'll see the fluorescent of Shana van der Vlist in 6th place ahead of her. So we've got just over 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go. See how heavily ripped it was into that right-hander that Van Drunen was approaching. That's where there was a lot of water laying on the track. That was Pappenmeyer, I think. Yeah, it was, because there's Gabriela Sedados having a fantastic ride. Gabriela Sedados. Didn't finish in the top 5 at any stage last year. In fact, she's never finished inside the top 5, the young Spaniard. Here's Pap. Larissa Pappenmeyer. Wasn't even sure if she was going to make the trip here. When I spoke to her in pit lane during the time practice session at Arnhem a couple of weeks ago. Picked up that thumb injury a week before the Dutch Grand Prix. A bit of a nasty graze on the chin as well. And she said this trip was already paid for, so I've got to come. She wasn't even sure if she was going to line up, but here she is, eyeing up 3rd overall at this final round. Yeah, she just went off track there a lap ago. Didn't cost her a position, but it has cost her time. 3.9 behind Sedados now. But has not been on the podium since 2nd overall here a year ago. This 20-minute plus 2 lap race feeling like an eternity to some riders as the conditions change lap on lap and deteriorate. Ruts getting longer and deeper, just becoming more and more unpredictable. Bikes getting heavier with the thick, sticky mud. Here's Duncan. 3 laps to go because Lindvall already over the line. 2:28.7 last time around. The gap between these two is irrelevant, really. But the gap, 45 seconds. But Courtney Duncan, with 3 to go, getting closer to that 4th world title in WMX. Lindvall yet to win a race this year. Last time she managed to do that was when she went 1-1 in Portugal round 2 last year. And here is the Fantic Racing rider. The cleanest rider on track. In that white and grey, hardly any roost on her. Hasn't got caught behind anybody. Decisive off the start. Swept through the first turn ahead of everybody else. And she has led every single one of the 7 laps so far. fantastic effort, this. She was disappointed to have only finished third at her home round a couple of weeks ago at Arnhem in the Netherlands. But it's going to be one step better. It'll be a third podium of the campaign. It'll be back-to-back podiums for her for the first time this year as well. Third and a second. And she's edging closer towards the penultimate lap, the 2-lap board. Out of the final turn then, 2-lap board awaits, goes out to Lynn Volk. Meanwhile, 10 seconds clear of third place, Courtney Duncan using all the outside lines. Not taking any risks. Doesn't need to. The only person that could mathematically challenge her coming into this race, Daniela Guillen. Guillen currently in 8th position. She needed at least second to clinch the title by 1 point, should anything have happened to the Kiwi girl in this race. Traffic just ahead of her as well. A couple of back markers there. Long look up towards the pit board. Again, waved yellow, slightly offline there. That's when you need long legs. Doing her best to clear whatever troubles are there. Look, not taking any risks. Rider down. Another back marker there, just on the horizon. 2, in fact. It's so unpredictable. One of those, the number 71, the Romanian, Ada Cojanu, on the JK Yamaha. Duncan just looks up, lets the 2 riders have their own little battle here, because she knows she's got time in hand to be able to do that. Because Anderson now 15 seconds adrift in 3rd place. Yeah, struggling with the roll-offs there, doing her best to keep that visibility. Sometimes what happens is dirt gets underneath, mud gets under the film as well, so when you pull, you get a smear. So then you have to go 2 or 3 more times to try and hope that that clears. But Lynn Volk, in a class of her own in this race, enters the final lap with a huge margin over 2nd place. On course for her first race win of the season and 2nd overall. Duncan tiptoeing her way round. There's Anderson in the background. Just saw a flash of orange go through. Three titles in the books already, 2019, 20 and 21. Missed out last year due to a collarbone injury, picked up at round 2 in Portugal. And no matter how many titles she's won before, surely this race turning out to be one of the longest races for Duncan, possibly. Certainly for the season, given the conditions as well, because you're not able to ride as freely as you want. You're just trying not to make those mistakes. Wonder how much visibility she's got through those goggles, actually. But reluctant to come in anyway, just in case. Again, a little bit of a mistake there. Just cross-rutting midway through turn 2. Watch this. Some of her moments then throughout this race so far. Visibility looks okay there, but see the mud piled up either side of the tear-off, roll-offs. Look how deep it is out there, how unpredictable. See the cord being pulled. Yeah, and then just wiping off the top of the mud flap on the top there. But Lynn Volk, 2 corners away from the checkered flag. The Fantic Racing rider. Just about 100 meters to go from the finish line. Rounds out the final turn, takes her first race win of the season, her 5th career victory. Lynn Volk wins race 2 here, the final round in Turkiye. Fantastic job. And she can go into the off-season on a bit of a high. Courtney Duncan still wiping mud from the goggles. Half a lap to go for the Kiwi girl. She is on course for world title number 4. 6 race wins so far this season. 3 overall victories in Switzerland, Spain and France. She was on the podium, 3rd overall in the deep sand conditions of Sardegna at the opening round. Frustrated at losing the title in 2022. She did her homework. She buried herself in work down there on the South Island in New Zealand. Came back all guns blazing, motivated for more titles, more wins, more success. And Courtney Duncan, the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki rider, just 2 corners from home now. And Courtney Duncan rounds out the final turn. It's another slam dunk for Dr. Duncanstein as she wraps up her 4th world title in WMX. Courtney Duncan, the 2023 FIM Women's Motocross World Champion at the same venue she took her first title in 2019. Her mum, who's never watched her race before, took a trip out. She arrived here on Thursday with friends and family from New Zealand. And she can now celebrate with the team. Congratulations, Courtney Duncan. And Big Van World, MTX Kawasaki, Steve Dixon and all of the crew down there. She can't believe it. She may have won 3, but this one just as emotional as the other 3. There is Mum Linda, just making the trip over. A proud day for the Duncans. Relief etched all over Duncan's face. And Lisa, if she can get in there, can maybe grab a word. Here is Lisa, the emotion now setting in.
Courtney Duncan, 2023 was your year. You've got your 4th world title. Describe the emotions right now.
Honestly, I don't know what to say. Just, it's what it means, you know. It's what it means. It's what it means to my family, my friends, my team. We worked so hard for this, so many hours, so many years. You know, we've been working for this moment for 20-something years, and you know, to share it with the people that believe in you. You know, my mom is here, and it's the first one she's ever been to, and that means the world for me. And I'm just so grateful. You know, huge shout out to my team. 5 years, 4 titles. Yeah. Testament. Let's enjoy this.
Enjoy the moment, Courtney. Congratulations.
Courtney Duncan, your 2023 FIM WMX Motocross World Champion. She started the year off in Sardinia with 3rd overall and 3rd, 4th finishes on the day, but she bounced back with 3 wins in a row: Switzerland, Spain, France. She may have missed the podium in the Netherlands 2 weekends ago, but she bounces back here with a win and a 2nd, the overall victory, and with it, her 4th world title. Congratulations, Courtney Duncan, Big Van World, MTX Kawasaki. 4 titles now in 5 years. And Lotte van Drunen, one of the first to congratulate her as well. Sarah Anderson there. Lynn Volk, I guess, has already congratulated her. Oh, there you go. But smiles all round on this podium because Courtney Duncan, world champion. Lynn Volk coming away with a race win. Larissa Papamai with her first podium of the season. But the official result here, race 2. Lynn Volk wins race 2 from Courtney Duncan, the new world champion. Sarah Anderson third, Larissa Papenmeier fourth, Shana van der Vlis, Gabriela Sedados and Lotte van Drunen. What a fantastic season she's had. And then Daniela Guillen rounding out the top 8 there. Britt Jans-Bacon and Jamie Estudillo ran out the top 10. Good ride for the American. Then we had Janina Lehmann, fantastic Grand Prix she's had this weekend. Give you the overalls. Duncan with a win and a second will stand on the top step. She will hear the national anthem of home, and she will do so with a gold plate as well. Lynn Volk, second overall with her first race win of the season. Larissa Papenmeier, first podium in a year, third overall for the German. Sarah Anderson just missing out by a few points, but her best race and results of the season with fourth overall. And rounding out the top 5, Daniela Guillen, 33 points with a third and an 8th. Edging out Lotte van Drunen, and those two fighting for second in the championship in the end. And the championship decided here at round 6, the MXGP of Turkiye. Courtney Duncan, 4 titles in 5 years, edging out Daniela Guillen, who has to settle for silver, and Lotte van Drunen in her debut season, the 16-year-old, third overall in the championship. Volk rounds out the top 4 with Sarah Anderson, 5th in this year's campaign. And the Manufacturers' Championship standings then, just as they did in the individual and the solos. Kawasaki top the World Championship standings, ahead of GasGas and Yamaha. Fantic, KTM, Husqvarna and Honda, the other manufacturers lining up in 2023. All set for the podium then. But what a season it has been for Courtney Duncan. Disappointed at losing her crown a year ago to Nancy van der Ven. She's bounced back with a vengeance to wrap up her 4th FIM Women's Motocross World Championship title. At the same venue, she took her first title back in 2019 in what was another dominating season for the Kiwi girl. But there will be smiles all round this final podium of 2023. Larissa Papenmeier, third overall, Yamaha Racing 423. A year between drinks, if you like. But third overall, fantastic first race where she held on to that second position. Follows up with a 4th place finish. Lynn Volk, Fantic Racing, second overall. Back-to-back podiums for the Dutch girl. Her second visit to the second step this year because she was also second in Spain, round 3. But your new world champion, Courtney Duncan, Big Man World MTX Kawasaki, finally gets the job done here in the final race of the season, and does it with the overall victory as well. Steve Dixon, the team owner, will take his position on the podium as winning team manager. Fantastic trophies as well. Look, Ogun Baysan, Turkey Motorcycle Federation Vice President, on hand to deliver the 3rd place trophy, the first of the season, to Larissa Papenmeier. Yamaha Racing 423. Congratulations, Lil Pat. You deserve it. Likewise, Lynn Volk, 2nd overall. Sadik Vefa, the Turkey Motor Federation Vice President, handing the 2nd place trophy to Lynn Volk, who rounds out the season with a win in the final race of the year.
Courtney Duncan ödülünü vermek üzere Türkiye Motosiklet Federasyonu As Başkanı Sayın Orkun Baysal'ı bir kez daha podyuma davet ediyoruz.
Courtney Duncan takes her winner's trophy. Her 4th win of the season, her 5th trophy of the season. And it's enough to clinch her 4th Women's Motocross World Championship.
Kazanan takım menajeri Steve Dixon ödülünü vermek üzere Türkiye Motosiklet Federasyonu As Başkanı Sayın Mahmut Nedim Akülke'yi podyuma davet ediyoruz.
Congratulations, Steve Dixon. Another trophy for the cabinet back home there in Hampshire. But the emotion set in pretty quickly, didn't it? Mr. Antonio Elia Portela, the FIM CMS director, hands a 4th gold plate to the Kiwi girl. Courtney Duncan can now really start to celebrate. She is the 2023 FIM Women's Motocross World Champion for a 4th time. National anthem time for the New Zealanders. Your podium here this weekend, the final round, Courtney Duncan, Lynn Volk and Larissa Papameyer. We will change positions shortly for the top 3 in the championship. And then, of course, we'll see the highlights of that 2nd race and how Courtney Duncan clinched that 4th world title. But congratulations, Larissa Papameyer, 3rd overall this weekend, Lynn Volk 2nd overall. But we are about to see the first 3 in the championship take their medals.
WMX kategorisinde Türkiye Afyonkarahisar yarışı sezonun son yarışıydı ve artık şampiyona içinde madalya töreni başlayacak. Madalyayı Sardegna takdim alacak birazdan.
So 3rd overall in the championship in 2023, and it's been a fantastic debut season for Lotte van Drunen of the Netherlands, just 16 years old about a month ago, picked up 2 wins at the penultimate round at home at Arnhem in the Netherlands, and she has had a win and 2 seconds so far in this campaign in her rookie season. Congratulations, Lotte van Drunen. Daniela Guillen, 2nd overall, a win, 3/3 and a second. She missed the podium here at the final round, but Daniela Guillen, a race winner at the final round in Sardegna, where she came away with the red plate. But the last lap gas rider, another fantastic season for her. But Courtney Duncan, Big Band World MTX Kawasaki. Special helmet there as well. And the medals being presented by Mr. Antonio Elia Portela. 3rd overall and a bronze medal in her rookie season for Lotte van Drunen. 2nd overall, a silver medal for the Spaniard, Daniela Guillen. Just the conditions in that final race just getting the better of her, possibly. But another gold medal for Courtney Duncan, a 4-time world champion in WMX. Mr. David Luongo, the in-front motor racing CEO, will join the group for a family photo with the top 3. And of course, then it will be Courtney Duncan on her own with Mr. Antonio Elia Portela and David Luongo. But your first 3 in the championship, Courtney Duncan, Daniela Guillen, Lotte van Drunen, fantastic season. And very close it was as well throughout the campaign. Here's the highlights of WMX Race 2, the final round here in Turkiye at Afyon. The championship on the line, but it was Lynn Volk who grabbed the early advantage in heavy, muddy conditions after rain swept through the region late afternoon during the MX2 qualifying race. Duncan got the good start that she needed in second. Sarah Anderson was there in third, and Shana van der Vlist alongside on the right-hand side in fourth place. Gabriela Sedados also made a fantastic start, but Lotte van Drunen was down in about 16th place. Daniela Guillen then, as she tried to find her way past the 4.23 of Papamaya, fell and picked herself up and rejoined the track in 11th position. Britt Jans-Bacon also fell from 5th. She would eventually come home in 9th place, picking up another couple positions late on in the race. Circulating in 3rd for much of the race, Courtney Duncan then found her way into 2nd with that move on Sarah Anderson. And then Danny Gleeson fell as she was being caught by the 4.01 of Lotte van Drunen. Van Drunen then inheriting 6th position. But it was a race win, the final race win of the year for Lynn Volk. But crossing the line in 2nd was Courtney Duncan, and with it she wrapped up her 4th World Championship. Volk, your winner in race 2, from Duncan, Anderson, Papamaya, van der Vlist, Sedados, Van Drunen 7 and Guillen 8. And the emotion didn't take long to set in after Courtney Duncan returned to the winner's enclosure. Big hug from Mum Linda, who's never seen her ride, and congratulations to the Kiwi girl. First overall this weekend at the final round. Volk 2nd, Papamaya 3rd. Her first podium of the season and her first in a full year as well. But Duncan wraps up the title here in Turkey from Daniela Guillen and Lotte van Drunen. Congratulations to all the girls who have ridden this season, but to Courtney Duncan, a 4-time world champion now.
Courtney Duncan, you have that gold plate in your hand, 4 titles in 5 years, and well deserved. You totally dominated this season with 4 overall victories. This was meant to be your year.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that to start with, but what a season. Honestly, like you say, 4 GP wins, another world title. Man, that little kid, I don't think would have ever dreamed of this. Like, honestly, I don't think I ever would have dreamed of having 4. It's so special, and just to give back, you know, give back to the people that believe in you and your parents and your family and, you know, the team. But no, it's a very special title for sure. I'm going to enjoy this. My mom's here, so I'm going to share it with her, and I got some family friends over as well. So wow, I'm lost. I don't really know what else to say. Just grateful for this moment.
Just enjoy it. Thanks, Courtney. 2nd overall in the championship, we have Daniela Guillen. Daniela, you took the fight down to the very last race. You put in such a great year, good races, but podiums. But that last race there was pretty difficult for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, the race was difficult. I don't feel so good with the track, but well, I do good. I want to say congratulations to Duncan for the championship, and then I'm 2nd in the world, so yeah, I'm really happy. And I want to say also thank you the sponsors and my team that helped me so much, so yeah, I'm very happy.
Well deserved, Daniela. Thank you. 3rd overall in the championship, we have Lotte van Drunen. Lotte, considering this was your rookie year, wow, what a year. 3 podiums, you got an overall victory in there as well. You must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, well, it was an amazing season for me. Today wasn't really going well, but I've had really good races. I've made mistakes, which I really learned from, and I'm absolutely fired up for next season. I'll be working hard this winter.
Thanks, Lotte.
Lotte van Drunen finishes the season 3rd overall on 230 points, and what a season it has been for the Queen of Sand, Lotte van Drunen. 2 second-place finishes at the opening 2 rounds. Kicked off her campaign. Missed the box in Spain and France, but she bounced back with a vengeance in Holland a couple of weeks ago with her first victory of the season. Daniela Guillen held the first red plate of the new campaign when she won the overall in Sardegna. She followed that up with 4 podiums on the bounce, 3 wins in a second, but she just missed the box this weekend. But difficult conditions in this 2nd and final race of the year. But the last lap gas rider could be pleased of her 2nd overall in the championship. But back on the top step And 4 world titles now for the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki, Courtney Duncan. A third, 3 wins on the bounce in Switzerland, Spain and France. She follows up with a win here in Turkey. Courtney Duncan, the 2023 FIM Women's Motocross World Champion. We're going to take a break. We will be back at 11:25 local time, so 55 minutes from now. When we return, it will be for EMX 250 Race 2. We'll see you then. Bye for now.